Dave Stewart, Peace One Day Ambassador, welcome to #Peace Day.
Thank you very much, and I'm very pleased to be here.
Dave, I want to ask you, you've supported Peace One Day for 25 years. We did the first ever musical show together at Brixton Academy, which really paved the way for everything that we've done since. What was it about you wanting to support Peace One Day all those years ago?
Well, along the way, the journey of, being a musician, and then Annie and I, in Eurythmics, we would write a lot of songs about, human feelings, about the world. We didn't just write songs about relationships or this or that, and that all built up into us actually doing a world tour called the Peace Tour and a whole album called Peace. And we'd just actually been doing that in 1999, I think, into 2000. And so it was not an unfamiliar territory to want to talk about peace in the world. So when you came bursting in, doing triple somersaults with all the energy that you have and everything, and talked about the day that you'd now got passed by the United Nations being the 21st of September, and you said about, okay, to build a house, you start with one brick, so let's just start with one day and try and get, one day to be more peaceful than the rest of the year. And as you know, it really does work. There's lots of statistics where 21st of September, lots of things change for the better for that day. So I was, okay, well, first thing I always say is, let's write a song, because a song starts a lot of things. And you start with that and it builds into something else, which was, let's do a show at Brixton Academy. And so it was your enthusiasm and your understanding of the power of, music and wanting to put on something with music. There's not many things that can bring out human emotion more than music.
Yeah, it was incredible, Brixton Academy, Dave, and I thank you for pulling all of that together. It was with Jimmy Cliff, and Richard was there, Annie was there, many people were there, Maxi Jazz Faithless was there. But let's just have a little look at a moment with you and Jimmy Cliff from Brixton Academy.
Oh yes, I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshine day.
So Dave, that was an amazing moment at Brixton, and that really set the path for Peace One Day. You really inspired me to understand the power of music to support raising awareness of this day. And in fact, you created a song with Jimmy Cliff, way back then, which was the first time we actually created a song for the day. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, I'd been writing a few other songs with Jimmy Cliff and been producing some tracks with him. And Jimmy Cliff is, somebody who really, understood immediately and understands and has been for years and years and years singing about injustice, So when we decided to write that song, it came together very quickly. And Nadira X was there, a young artist from Jamaica, and a boy called Kamar, another young artist from Jamaica. We made this kind of upbeat, slightly sort of reggae-ish kind of song. And we had a feeling amongst us, I remember at the time, that we were writing something that was pretty important for ourselves as well, you know, to think about all this stuff, because you're a fountain, Jeremy, of information, because this is what you've been devoting your life to. So it's great to have somebody standing in front of you and explaining everything that's happening in the world and not be one-sided, you know.
So that song, I mean, it's an amazing song, you know, but I want to say, before we have a little look at that song, you know, we were living in a really different time then. I mean, there was things going on. As you've said, we were both in New York when 9/11 happened. The announcement of the Peace Day being created was going to be announced by Kofi Annan that morning, as you know. The planes hit the building and he never made the announcement. So both of us, you know, ironically, were there at that tragic time for so many. But that song, and then obviously a year later you wrote the song. It was the first ever Peace Day, and it came out, and it was a really hopeful, very special piece of work. Let's actually have a look at that song right now. So, Dave, I remember we spoke last year's Peace Day. There's many things going on in the world. 2 billion people living in areas of conflict, 65% increase in violent conflict since 2001. You know, more wars raging this year than ever since the Second World War. And a mesh of that was, of course, going on last year. People in Gaza, people in Ukraine, people in the Congo, people all over the world. And of course, our hearts and prayers and thoughts go out to all of those people across the entire world who are suffering innocently. And I remember us talking at last year's Peace Day about the idea of a new anthem to encompass this kind of tragic place that we find ourselves in. But of course, there can be hope. There, you know, we can unite, we can stand together, we can, you know, support each other through these difficulties. And you talked about creating another anthem for this period. And that song, we're going to listen to it in a minute, is absolutely incredible that you've put together with Daryl Hall. Tell me a little bit about how that song came together, because Dave, it is beautiful.
Well, yes, the song, the new song, which you named it an anthem, is it's one of those things where, you know, you're sitting in a room with somebody, like I'm sitting in a room with Daryl, he's sitting at the piano, I've got a guitar. I just started talking about Peace One Day and about those statistics, you know, about a quarter of the human population are in conflict zones, and it's just everything's kicking off and blowing off all over the place. And, you know, we watched the TV a bit and we were like, oh my God. And I started talking about Peace One Day. And I said, you know, oh, why don't we write something about this? And it was literally, he was just playing the piano and I was playing the guitar, stood next to him, and all of a sudden we were coming up very quickly, line after line, about the feeling of it, of just watching this, seeing all this stuff flying by on social media and on the TV and everywhere. And so, again, it was like a song about how do we feel about this? You know, like you're just stuck watching all of this stuff going on. And it's like more like a plea, you know, can we have peace one day? Just one day, you know? And so it's a different kind of song.
Yeah. It is. I mean, I've done this for 26 years. I've been on the road because of your support and many others. 3 billion people are now aware. 21st of September today, more people are thinking about peace today than any other day of the year. And it's the day with the greatest reduction of violence. You've been a massive part of that. Let's look at the Peace One Day Anthem by Dave Stewart and Daryl Hall now.
I can barely see through the smoke anymore. Is it there on the screen, like so many times before? The noise is so loud, I can barely hear. It was far away, now it's really near, and all I hear is people say, can we have peace one day? One day. All I hear is people say, can we have peace one day? But just one day. There's a clearing down there, you can see it from the sky. That's not a good place for children to hide. What a decision to have to decide when there's buildings collapsing with families inside, and all I hear is people say, can we have peace one day? Just one day. And all I hear is people say, can we have peace one day? But just one day. Images of pain, well, here they come again. Hearts too young to heal. I can't believe it's real. I can't believe it's real. All I hear is people say, can we have peace one day? Just one day. All I hear is people say, can we have peace one day? For just one day. Well, for just one day. One day. One day. Can we have peace? One day. Peace. One day. Can we have peace? One day. Peace. One day. Can we have peace? One day. Peace. One day. Can we have peace? Just one day.
Dave, you know, I honestly, this is of all of the years that I've done this, you know, working with you again and being with you and all of the people that are in this show that, you know, are in some of these films from 25 years ago to today has been absolutely incredible. It's going to be wonderful to see them throughout the show today. I want to ask you something now, which is pretty unique and very special, that people, you've put this, you know, anthem together, this Peace One Day Anthem, and people can actually own a bit of this song, and by owning a bit of this song you're becoming part of the community, and those proceeds of course support Peace One Day, and the company's Song Bits is going to handle that process. Tell me why Song Bits was important to you.
Well, Song Bits was necessary because the way the music industry has turned, an artist to make a minimum living wage would have to have 650,000 streams a month on a streaming service. So it's kind of virtually impossible. So that was when I put money in to build something, along with my friend Johan, to build the beginning of a piece of technology that would be able to handle people owning shares in a song, the general public, fans, and them to know exactly forever, they own it forever, and be able to see forever how that song is doing by using the blockchain. And so that took a couple of years to finesse, but now it's been working perfectly. And so I suggested, if we put the song on Songbits instead of a straight going to a streaming, all the streamers, Songbits then can sell, it's divided into milliseconds. So, you can, if it's, 3 minutes, 20, the length of the song. So you're selling out 300,000 or whatever Songbits. So you can buy 50 or whatever, you can spend $3, you can spend $10, you can say, I want to put $1,000. And some people do. So Peace One Day would get the instant payments coming in, as opposed to waiting for months and months and months or years and getting a tiny piece,
It's incredible, Dave. So, you have written this anthem to raise awareness of Peace Day, which clearly you are going to do in an incredible way. That's the power of music. That's why we create these shows together. And you were the instigator and the inspiration of that 25 years ago, as we discussed. It is amazing to think that people can support Peace One Day by owning a bit of this incredible anthem now and forever, and that be stored on the blockchain, and they'll be a part of this community that have taken this song to the people of the world, and by doing so have supported Peace One Day on the mission to continue to raise awareness of this day in the hope that we decrease violence. I mean, it's an amazing story, and Dave, I thank you so much for for everything that you've done, but for writing a song like this that I hope informs, inspires, engages people across the world. It's amazing, Dave. You're incredibly generous and kind and supportive, and I just want to take this opportunity to thank you for being just an incredible ambassador for Peace One Day and a good friend. Today's broadcast would not have happened if it wasn't for you. Thank you, Dave.
Thanks so much. Well, one thing I want to say that you mentioned in there, the word community. And I think that's an important thing to do with Songbits and owning a piece of the song, that you feel part of something and you can immediately share it. Like, I just bought a piece of this song, and then people realize, oh, that's to do with Peace One Day. And, and to feel part of a community, because there's so many, it's so fractured, the world, split into so many different sections. It's really great, I think, to have Peace One Day, which already is working all over the world, as a community of people that are just saying, look, we don't really agree with all of this stuff going on, and we're not political. We're just saying, hey, can we have peace one day?
Dave Stewart, Peace One Day Ambassador, thanks for everything you've done for us, mate.
Thank you.